A news just coming in, 6 job seekers have died with several others injured following a stampede at the Al-Waqf Sports Stadium in Accra during the Ghana Armed Forces 2025-2026 recruitment exercise. According to a statement from the Ghana Armed Forces, a tragedy occurred around 6:20 a.m. when an unexpected surge of applicants breached security protocols and forced their way through the gates ahead of the scheduled screening. The injured are receiving treatment at the 37 military hospital, where medical teams are working to stabilize their condition. The Ghana Armed Forces has extended its condolences to the families of the deceased and wished the injured a speedy recovery. Now, the statement signed by Captain Veronica Ajo-Ahin, Acting Director General of Public Relations, has assured the public the investigations are underway and further updates will be communicated soon. But let's glean more into that statement, and it says that the Ghana Armed Forces deeply regrets to inform the general public of a tragic stampede prior to the commencement of the 2025-2026 recruitment exercise today, November 12, 2025, at the Al-Waqf Sports Stadium in Accra. Preliminary investigations indicate that the stampede was triggered by an unexpected surge of applicants who breached security protocols and rushed into the gates ahead of scheduled screening at about 6:20 hours. Now, the unfortunate incident led to the death of 6 potential recruits and many others injured. The injured are currently receiving emergency medical care at the 37 military hospital. Ghana Armed Forces assures the general public that medical teams are working tirelessly to stabilize affected individuals. Meanwhile, arrangements are being made to notify the families of the deceased. The Ghana Armed Forces extends its deepest condolences to the families of the deceased and wishes a swift recovery to those injured. Further updates will be communicated. And earlier on, I said, this was signed by Veronica Ajo-Ahin, Captain Ghana Navy, Acting Director General, Public Affairs of the Ghana Armed Forces. Well, let's go now to the phone lines now and speak to our reporter, Fatal Bayaga, who has been there observing the situation. Fatal, what are you picking up on this incident?
Mami, so what we have at the moment is that, yes, some of the injured persons have been brought to the 37 military hospital. We also told that some 6 persons have died following this particular development. At the moment, the military will not allow us to go inside the emergency ward, but we're still trying to see if we can get inside and to be able to provide you with all the information you will need at this point. But I mean, let me just give you a clue of what happened at the Al-Waqf Sports Stadium. Now, many of the applicants, thousands of them, besieged the sports stadium seeking to be enlisted into the military. And in fact, today we told that this is part of the documentation and body selection process. And according to some of the applicants, they were told to come today, but they got here, and then what they were told was that they should go back because it's been scheduled in batches, right? So many of them came with the anticipation that they will be able to go through the process today. But when they came, and many of them tried to rush into the sports stadium, that led to this particular stampede.
Looking to level up your life and business game? Welcome to the #1 podcast for business and self-development, Connected Minds Podcast.
At the entrance of the stadium, because many of the applicants still do not want to leave the place. They're not responding to or trying to abide by what the officials are telling them to leave and then come the next day to go through the process. So that's the situation, and it's been quite chaotic at the entrance of the Al-Waqf Sports Stadium, as many of the applicants are still forcing themselves to get into the sports stadium.
So, Bayaga, exactly how is it being done, the process? Is it that the people are in queues and trying to, aside from the stampede that happened earlier today, how is the process going as we speak?
So, in fact, inside, they are in queues. But outside, I think the situation happened outside when they tried to get into the sports stadium.
Right.
And outside, it seemed to be disorderliness. No one is controlling the crowd properly outside. And many of them, in fact, would just move from behind and push to get into the sports stadium. That's what is happening. So, if there were queues outside, they would have been able to manage the situation. But then the applicants are just stationed disorderly, and that is really making it very, very serious. And as I speak with you, Mami, it's still the situation, and the military officers are trying their best to control the situation, but it appears that the huge numbers are just too much for them to control.
Well, you talk about queues. We anticipate that is as a result of the surge in the numbers that have come. Can you paint a picture how long these queues are?
Mami, in fact, inside the sports stadium, I would say that is virtually full because of the huge numbers. And in fact, if you also look at those outside, I would say they are in their thousands. Many of them are stationed across. In fact, if you driving towards the sports stadium, they've taken off the arrow, causing a huge vehicular traffic. Because of the huge numbers. And in fact, some of the officers they tell me that the numbers that we've seen outside may even be more than those inside. And that is making it very difficult for the officers to be able to control numbers. The military officers are saying their numbers, but the huge numbers of applicants are just making it so difficult for them. But they're saying that they're still strategizing to see how they will be able to manage these huge numbers that have grown sports stadium.
Well, stay with me, Bayaga. I know earlier on you've been speaking to the Greater Accra Regional Minister. Let's hear what she said.
That you can see that there's a lot of pressure here. We are trying to avoid any casualty. In as much as I'm concerned, we don't want to hear anything, regarding any casualty in the region. I'm here to protect them. I'm here to make sure that everybody is attended to. We also expect the youth to listen to us. When I interviewed the officers, they said, I asked them, why is it that everybody is here? They said some were told to come to be here on Friday, others were told to come here on Thursday, but they are all here. My dear, today they are only attending to the army, the Ghana Army. Tomorrow they will attend to the Navy, and then goes on Friday. This exercise is going to last for 1 week, and so everybody will be attended to. So also let's advise the youth, and so that they can go home and come back tomorrow so that they can be attended to. But what I'm seeing here, my dear, I'm afraid, honestly speaking, I'm afraid.
There were speculations of death and other injuries. Based on what you've seen so far, have you seen anything like that?
No, I've not heard anything of that sort. I just came, but what I just witnessed, they were all rushing into. There can be a stampede, and that is what we want to avoid. Are you getting me? Your parents are there waiting for you to come back with the good news, only for them to hear that there's a casualty. No, that wouldn't serve. It wouldn't sound well. So we only advise them, like I said, their text messages. I've asked them to check their text messages and make sure if it's Friday, you've been asked to come back on Friday. Go and come back on Friday. If it's tomorrow, go and come back tomorrow. It's as simple as that. And so that the officers can also attend. When you enter inside, my dear, you see the number of people there. I'm not sure everybody can be attended to today. Are you getting me? So they should understand the officers, go home and come back tomorrow.
The last before you go, do you think that there are better ways to handle this situation so that we wouldn't experience some of the things that you just spoke about?
And yeah, this is attitude, because this, as far as I'm concerned, like I said, you were told to come on Friday. What are you doing here today? Looking at the huge number of people that has applied. Are you getting me? So they know that they cannot attend to everybody, and that is why they've segmented them. They said today, come here, tomorrow, and this group of badge is in badges. This recruitment is in badges, and it's going to last for 1 week. And so trust me, within this 1 week, everybody will be attended. But if you rush and you go there and you are being disqualified, are you going to blame the officers?
What about decentralizing it into districts?
Oh yes, that is why it has been done. This exercise is not only here. There are some going on in Takrady as I'm speaking to you now.
And my colleague Bayaga speaking there to the Greater Accra Regional Minister Linda Oklu. He's still